How did acting make me the most authentic version of me possible?
Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today, what we're talking about is how acting helped me to become the greatest version of myself, become the most authentic version of myself, and the version of me that I truly prefer to be. It gave me the freedom to truly choose the character traits that I most admire in others and establish those using whatever technique, Meisner, method acting, Stanislavski's approach, Grotowski, Goffman, all of these theater practitioners, I just absorbed their mindset. I was also into playwriting a little bit, and I started to notice how, writing plays or scripts, it's funny because my rap name is Scripts, right, would start to change in a person's mind. For instance, let's say you said a line, right? Yesterday's methods just don't work. Say that in a sad way. Yesterday's methods just don't work. This takes acting chops, right? This takes skill set. This takes refinement. That was spontaneous in the moment. That's because I loved improv. I love improv theater because you could mess up and make mistakes and it would be completely a part of the performance. I love the acceptance of that. I love the spirituality of being on the stage because you would lose your ego and you would tap into this other consciousness, this doubled consciousness where there is you and then there is the character that you are portraying. I love that feeling. I got a rush off of that feeling. Actually, being on stage was the first time that I actually experienced being in the zone or being in flow state. There's this weird paradox because the audience is watching me, so obviously there is my ego in play in moments where my character would break. However, I also noticed that as I was forgetting my lines, I would start to improvise the lines because I knew the gist behind it. I knew the kind of theme or the motif behind what I was saying, and I would still just roll with it. And the audience loved it. They loved the spontaneity of that. They absorbed that. And that's the thing, that was a Midsummer Night's Dream performance, right? I don't think I could have pulled that off if I hadn't had that interest in improv a while back and freestyle rap and all of these other things, right? To be spontaneous, to be in the flow state, to be completely unfiltered, unadulterated. By the way, make sure you're 18 and over watching this. Make sure you know that this is for entertainment, education, and information. And don't break any laws of the land. Moving forward, why did I choose acting? Okay? I wasn't very confident in myself. I thought acting could help me stretch that capability unconsciously, like not really consciously, but I knew that, I saw these movies and like actors on the screen and I thought, okay, I could definitely do that. Second thing it helped me with is my relationships and being with women. I understood that, every woman has a narrative with you that is different, completely different. Two people, you cannot compare them. You can't generalize and be like, all women are like this, all men are like this. And the moments of real life drama with other people are very much like a play. But I also learned the lesson of, and again, I'm not generalizing, but this is what I felt, is the feminine energy that I got from a woman amplifies my masculine energy. So let's say that I'm very confused, she's amplifying that confusion times 10. It really became a process of state control, right? And state control is something that you definitely need as an actor. You need to know when to cry on command. You need to know when to, suddenly start barking like a dog. Do these ridiculous ego death, ego shedding activities, right? Riding on my little white pony. And the most, embarrassing shit that you could possibly imagine, from Zip Zap Zop to you guys remember Zip Zap Zop? I was in that world, man. I was in that dorky theater kid world. And I'm saying it's dorky because I was a dork. I admit that. But there was something that perturbed me about musical theater. I don't know. But also, I started to understand every time I would act or get an opportunity. By the way, I acted on a film, a Jurwa 2 with my ex-girlfriend. It was really powerful. Like, I didn't know that I could be on a movie screen either. But that whole thing of being an extra got so taxing, and I started to understand the difference between theater and film. I also applied to American Academy of Dramatic Arts for a camera and acting course where I met these gorgeous, beautiful people. Luita, who has an amazing Instagram, by the way, check her out. Frederica, you know, all these beautiful women, but also dope dudes, man. Zane, I met you there, right? All these people, I'm still like subconsciously connected with them. Like maybe we're not on talking terms or whatever, but it's like we're still there. We're in the vibration, you know what I mean? Because we attended that program. We understand what acting on camera really looks like. But understand that the role of the actor, when you say that I'm gonna be an actor, you're gonna have to face a lot of rejection, okay? That's no joke. Acting is hard, but actors make it more hard for themselves by, you know, having the secondary pain or the secondary narrative that they're creating about their own careers. So as an actor, you need to really know your craft, and you need to know it well, man. You need to constantly be shedding the layers of your own ego, going on your own inner work journey. I went through like almost an identity crisis because I didn't know who I was, right, as I was acting. And so it caused this kind of weird shift in my mentality of like, am I really truly playing the character that I truly deserve? Back there, behind the coffee, is my book, TPM, okay? TPM is also known as Theatroplasticity Method, okay? Theatroplasticity Method is a concept that I came up with in college when I was going through some very strange dark nights of the soul, where I started to understand that, you know, I need to shed this character that I'm being. I didn't come into this world choosing this in the video game of this life, okay? Like the Indian guy who's kind of a class clown, who doesn't get that much attention from women, who kind of, you know, performs on stage once in a while whimsically and kind of like does his thing, but he doesn't really have his own craft. And that narrative started to shed. It just, I started to purge. I started to go through a lot of mental torture, actually, during that time. I remember. But it was to myself, again, because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do, right? I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I didn't want to, you know, do something I'd regret. One thing I loved about acting is I had the freedom and the choice to do what I wanted on that stage. Of course, the director had some say in that, right? The director would tell you like, no, tweak it like this, even if you have your particular way. So that, those little moments of authority, like I didn't really sit with me. Memorizing lines didn't really sit with me. But I understood I gotta take these techniques. I gotta write a book about this because I know how much it impacts people to learn about acting and doing, you know, having those skill sets of working on your tonality. La 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 la. Like weird, almost stupid theater exercises that make you want to crush down your feeling of like, if you have this thing of, oh, I'm gonna be humiliated, I'm going to be embarrassed. Acting and rehearsals, they crush all of that, man. Why? Because you're an actor, you're on the screen. You can't be so perturbed about your image at that point. You've got to let go and really embody this alternate version of somebody else. And with your own interpretations coming in, through your own memories if you're using the method acting style, right? And so it's slowly fusing, and that's why certain actors go haywire, right? They get depressed, they start to gain the side effects of acting in these specific roles, or if they've dedicated themselves to these characters, right? Like whatever, Jared Leto sending people like used condoms and stuff like this, right? I'm not saying that people don't get carried away. What I am saying is you have a role to play. You might be a father, a mother, a brother, a daughter, a sister, right? You might be somebody in your own reality. But first, we have to be a nobody to be a somebody. What do I mean by that? We have to realize that we are no body. We're not this body. We're not this, you know, thoughts that are coming in. We're not our thoughts. We're not our body, right? What are we? That's the true spirituality of this thing. You become the observer. You become the watcher behind the pair of eyes. Let's say I were to act like Amitabh Bachchan or something like that, right? Like I would be like, Ganu, right? And that's one level of it. But I would have to tap in deeper to get other, you know, energy reserves and different things, you know, that come through with that. Also, right, you hear my accent, right? It's not like this. It's an American accent that's somehow formed. I don't know if it's American or Canadian, or because I've lived in so many places, I've just absorbed what I heard from these different places, and the TV I watched, and of course all the music I listened to, and all those influences that shaped my voice currently to this day. And that's an important part of my character. If I hadn't moved around, I hadn't known about the concepts of that. I especially love poor theater because the idea of just an actor, a physical body on stage, could represent and symbolize so much. We don't need these fancy lights and these extravagant, costumes to get our point across. We got to get back to the core of the actor, the vessel, the human vessel, and start to shape our realities from it. So these are just some realizations, epiphanies that I had from my whole past as an actor. Of course, I established it. I'm very theatrical in my life, and I love amplifying what I already have internally. It's an amazing journey, man. If you're an actor watching this, keep going. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's go.